Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Today we back again. Myself, Colonel Gadiok, with me, Colonel Ashokan and Colonel Chahal from the Olive Greens Institute to interact with you on any issues and all issues relating to the Services Selection Board, your selection process, and we'll take on any questions or doubts that you have. The last couple of weeks we've been having your doubts on all issues, starting from screening test to the psychological test to the GTO to the interviews. So once again, we are here for any questions that you have. So till the time we start receiving your questions, we can just touch upon a few things that you must keep in mind once you decide or once you are approaching the Services Selection Board. In a way, it's more of a lifestyle change that you have about your personality. And looking at yourself as a potential officer, how should you think? What should you do? What should be the routine be? What things you should keep in mind to develop your personality? We can just chit chat, give you little insights into that.
Yeah, so like Colonel Gadiok has just brought out that preparation for SSB is not in a couple of weeks or days. It has to be certain behavioral changes that you'll have to bring about in the way you go about doing things. So you'll have to understand how should I be able to present myself better so that you stand out like a person who is a potential leader or a potential officer when you land up for the SSB. So it can't happen overnight, or these changes can't come about in a day or after going through a 2-week program in a training academy. So it can't happen like that. So therefore it is very, very essential for you to start working on yourself from the day that you get your results for the written exam. You should immediately commence making those changes, or rather you should start making your changes from today. And what we would try to bring out here is that in your daily routine, you got to have things which are going to help you improve your overall personality or strengthen the foundation of your personality. Like for example, you should begin your day with maybe a physical exercise, go for a run and work on your physical fitness. Then maybe as you come down and before you go for your college or your school, you must go through the daily newspaper and go through the editorial column, maybe prepare some notes, make some small cuttings and paste it in a register that you're maintaining, where you can make some small notes of all those important topics, all those current issues that are happening around you. And then as you go down to your college or school or wherever, keep the small points of being a person who's socially more acceptable in your mind as you come across as a friend with, as you approach your teachers. So you should be aware how to deal with people who are elder to you, your peer group, people who are younger to you. So keep that little, aspect of being a good human being in your mind, how to deal with all these people. So in your day-to-day life, make these small changes. Work on your ability to express your ideas with clarity. So whenever there is some discussion going on, you must always have an opinion and you must always contribute to that discussion. In your day-to-day life, any discussions, and it could be family discussions, it could be discussions on topics of common interest. So anything that is being discussed, you must always try and play an active role in that and try and be a person who is more likable, who is a person who is more acceptable by the people around you. So these are some of the things that you can start helping yourself to.
See, good conversation skills are very, very important socially, as also in whichever sphere you are working, fine, wherever you are, fine. Very often we reduce conversations to small level chit chat. You must elevate the level of that in terms of better ideas, information, or sharing opinions. That becomes a good way. When you converse with somebody, choose something which is mutually agreeable, which is understandable by both parties. You have to be able to read to have information. You have to be able to observe to have opinions. When you give your opinion, give your rationale for that. and it's never good to thrust your opinions. Be receptive, listen to others. That makes for a good conversation, and very important to develop that as you grow up, because wherever you are, it will be useful.
Dear defense aspirants, I would like to add on what Colonel Chahal and Colonel Gadiok have said. The basic problem we generally find when we were all assessors in various SSB boards, we always used to discuss the same issue, that most of the candidates coming for SSB, they are badly coached. Why this is happening? Because it is not a problem of the students or the aspirants. We have been tuned to learning from a textbook. We have been tuned from our childhood till today, writing examinations every year. There is a teacher to teach the syllabus. So we are probably coached rather than trained. And as unfortunately this education system, we are mostly trained to become not leaders but trained to become followers, because the methodology, the better pedagogy which is being followed in all this education system, what we follow here is learning from a syllabus and writing the answers to a question which is asked by the examiner, and that also mostly from the syllabus only, or the way teachers have been telling you. So this is a major trap which most of the candidates go through, and they start preparing for SSB in the same manner. So you all should be probably aware that ultimately, maybe the first time in your life, your personality is being assessed by a group of experts. As you all know, group testing officer, interviewing officer and psychologist, it's a team which are going to see your personality firstly in a peripheral manner and then go deep into your personality. We probe your personality. For what? For your holistic personality, which we put across in 15 oil cues. You all should be knowing all these oil cues. A lot of discussion on oil cues every day. You will find in YouTube most of the time somebody is talking about oil cue. So what most of the aspirants are doing, they try to by heart the oil cues and try to pretend that this is the man which is a desirable having a personality. So this is a trap probably. So you all should know this oil cues means nothing but becoming a good human being in life, a good Samaritan, a good citizen, and that is a basic thing, and becoming a good team member in a group, and then show certain aspirations to become a leader in life, which is very formally, automatically, which will happen to you. So what is 15 qualities? We will not go into whole details, but it should be like this. I'll give you in a very nutshell what we are expecting from you. We are looking for a candidate or a youth who is reasonably able to understand a situation, who is observant, who is able to speak smartly, who is cheerful always, who is able to organize things in a better manner than most of the others, who is confident to speak, who is able to express himself better than the others, who takes initiative, also who is socially very adjustable with every kind of situations, and also with other thing, a person who has got a cheerful disposition or a we call it liveliness of character, and also a person who is determined to go through the difficulties of life in spite of setbacks, who is going with who is persistent in following his goal in life, and who is also courageous in life, and with little bit of stamina.
Nikita Yadav is here. She's got a question. So she is in OG and she was here earlier, and she got conference out in the first 2 attempts. That means she cleared the screening and went through the process. But last time in the Navy, she got screened out because perhaps she was not able to speak well.
She was having a cold. She's mentioned her voice was hoarse and she could not participate.
So nothing to get disheartened. I know it. You go with all preparation. You want to get recommended and you get screened out. It's not a very great feeling. Yes, it's a setback, but it should not dishearten you, Nikita. The point that is making is your ability to bounce back. That's the liveliness. Yes, some setbacks will be there, but your ability to bounce back is very important, and recharge yourself and go once again. Now that you've been screened in earlier, what it requires. Basically, your ability to speak well in a group, participate in a group discussion logically with confidence, with giving reasonable points, right, to create a group story. And rest of the SSB you've been, perhaps you would have reflected why were you conference out. Maybe you had some issues in the group, maybe you had issues in your awareness, maybe you had some issues in your expression. So a little bit of introspection is required for you to see what may have gone. Maybe you could write stories well, but expression was not very good. See, a little bit of introspection is very, very important for you to see. And when you go again next time, just give your best. Yes, a little bit more awareness is important. You have going through the process, so you know what would be a good story. It has to have your imagination into it. You have to have your purposeful of doing it, and you should have a realistic activity which should be at your level. Right? So I'm sure you're aware of that. And perhaps if you feel like you could come for a very short revamp of all that, maybe it will help you to reflect better, and when you go next time, you'll be better prepared.
You can even get in touch with us, and if you have any specific doubts or specific things that you felt went wrong during your last SSB, you're most welcome to interact with us and discuss even on the phone.
Yeah, when we interact, so we perhaps get a sense of what possibly
could have gone,
may have pushed you back or held you back. Yeah.
See, if you are not able to come for a refresher course, probably we can even help you in a different manner also. We what we do these days, after the training program, we make small online groups so that their participation and their practice sessions keeps on happening. We do monitor them also so that they keep talking, their communication skill is developed, their mental block is mostly eliminated, they become more confident to speak. So this also can be done. If you connect us, we will put you in one of these groups also, so it will help you finally to go with more confidence and zeal.
I just take forward from what Colonel Ashok was talking about, the so-called OLQs, and he basically described what I've been looking for. What happens is a lot of people who maybe read something or pick up something on the YouTube, and they go through the qualities and the OLQs, and they start wondering, how do I project them? How do I show my this quality? How do I show my cooperation? See, therefore they get little unnatural. Fine. Remember, a good person, a proactive person, a positive person, a well-aware person, all the qualities will get shown. Don't get fixed. How do I show my this quality? Very often, I find candidates have this kind of doubts. How do I project this or that? And therefore, in the effort to project this and that, they become very artificial.
And in fact, a lot of you all, when you are practicing, you tend to, rather than applying your own mind, you'll say, sir, if this is the picture, what should be the theme? Yeah. I mean, so that makes actually no sense. If you're asking other people for a theme, you're basically borrowing ideas. I mean, it is you who has to be projected through those characters which are shown in that picture. So always put yourself in that frame and ask yourself, if I was this person, what could I be doing? And then relate with that picture and make a story from your side. I mean, if you start borrowing themes from other people, then naturally your stories are going to become very artificial, and they'll be all preconceived thoughts. So your stories should come from your own experiences of life, reflecting the person that you are and not the person from whom you borrowed this story. So it's very, very important to do this. Same goes for your SRTs, and for you tend to say, sir, agar ye SRT hai, to what should be the response? So that response can't be someone else's. That response has to be yours. And then you can ask, if I give this response, is it appropriate? Then maybe we could help you to kind of realign your thought process a little bit. But don't ever ask other people for their responses for the psychdosia. That's very, very important.
So the moment you start looking for ideas, कभी क्या जवाब देना चाहिए, क्या idea होना चाहिए, then you are suppressing your creativity. Creativity will only emerge when you start asking yourself, what is happening? What could I be doing? Why should I do that? How would I do it? Right? When you ask you those questions, you'll get some answers, and you put them into some reasonable form of a story form. You'll get to see yourself, okay, how's it going? Right? It has to be your own imagination, your own creativity, your observation of life. Right? It has to be realistic and creative at the same time.
In fact, the assessors are actually seeing your personality from a three-dimensional approach. That's why it's called a prismatic approach to your personality. Or we always keep saying this. Where is the source of this kind of assessment happen? Which we keep telling them it is Manasa Vacha Karmana, which is finally has been drawn from Lord Krishna's words from Bhagavad Gita, as you all know it. So what is Manasa? That is mind. So what is the psychologist doing here? He is peeping into your mind by certain tools which he is using to apply and see your personality. Vacha, what is Vacha? Vacha means the speech. So what is the interviewing officer doing here? He is again peeping at your personality, seeing your holistic personality, how do you project your personality through your words, and that is how interviewing officer is going to see. Finally, we are all seeing all your holistic personality through these 15 qualities. And Karmana, which we finally said, that is actions. Your action speaks volumes more than words. So that is a GTO doing. So what is GTO doing? GTO is observing your behavior, he is observing your actions and finding why you should behave in a peculiar manner, what are your reactions to certain situations which are created. So there was a lot of structured tasks which we create for you, and we put you through this process and see how you react to each kind of situations in individual manner and in a group also how to behave. And mostly you will find they are all leaderless groups, mostly. So to see, are you emerging as a potential leader in the making, not a full leader, but in the making. So this is what we do at the SSB. So you don't have to do any special preparations to go to SSB. You have to be yourself and start improving your personality by identifying the areas of improvement in your personality. That is the reason we do a training program here in the SSB, not a coaching program. Olive Green Institute, why we are the best, it's not that I'm trying to boast here, but we try to be the best, or we endeavor to
We
give
do
you,
our best. We do our best.
And we want to train your mind rather than coaching you.
Colonel Ashokan said about the interviewing officers through your words. But what is he looking for in your word? See, he is going through your journey of life. Your school days, college days, studies, exams, games, etc. Kya kya kara, kaise kara. Fine, he is trying to relate with your experiences of life, with the journey of life, trying to figure out the kind of person that you are. Fine. After all, what do the words reveal? Words only reveal what you speak. What you speak is what your thoughts. Fine. And so that he is relating with whatever you've done. So that's why the comprehensive question. The comprehensive question draws out your information in a systematic manner, so that he can visualize that and he can probe a few things here and there to judge for himself the kind of person that you have been. Student, boy or girl at home, a worker at office. From that he's trying to see the kind of person, and from that he draws out the traits that he's looking for.
Damanpreet has asked a question that how could you prepare for the outdoor tasks like the PGT and the command tasks at home? So Damanpreet, if you would have attended our program, I don't know whether you are an OGN or not. If you would have attended our program, you were explained in the class about those basic concepts that you need to keep in mind. You were taught the physics behind those ideas that are to be implemented as you go into those outdoor tasks. And also you were explained how could you use, the routine furniture and the stuff which is lying around you, how could you use that to continuously activate your mind and use those concepts that were taught in the class even when you go home. As also, once you've done the outdoor program, once you've gone to the GTO ground of Olive Greens, I don't think so there is any concept which you will not be able to easily, any obstacle will not be able to easily surmount when you go to the SSB. Because you will be able to apply your own mind and not the mind of a coaching academy. You will be applying your own mind when you look at that structure. Why? Because you understood the logic behind or the physics behind those concepts. So that is our endeavor. And therefore, if you've been to Olive Greens, you're already aware. If you haven't been to Olive Greens, then you will have to physically go through this class and go through the outdoors to be able to understand how to practice it when you go.
Colonel Chahal, unfortunately, the trend nowadays, especially after the COVID times, is to go through SSB preparation online. And there is a lot of traction on these things that people are trying to see can we go through SSB just by going through YouTube channels and some advice from certain instructors. But unfortunately, it would be as foolish as learning swimming without getting into water. Maybe interviewing officers, technique, little bit of insight you may get into, because his words are more important, what you speak is more important. Psychology also, to certain extent it would be possible, but may not be the way we would expect it to happen. But definitely the GTO series, I feel it would be absolutely non-productive to go through YouTube channels or by going through online methodology of learning how to do things practical on the ground, for which you need a proper training.
I
This
guess
is where
I
people
would
are
like to
going
carry
wrong.
that point further, because a lot of people are professing that you don't need Phatta Balli ki training. They are not looking for monkeys, this, that, and all. Please understand that we also say the same thing, that it is not just the Phatta Balli which is important, or reaching the finish line that is important. It is the process of reaching the finish line that is what is more important. So unless you participate in a live group physically on the ground, the group dynamics cannot set in. You can't sit in your home and talk about the funda, which of course you will know how to do it. Maybe you will learn it on the YouTube. But when it comes to the ground, it is how that group dynamics that gets generated when everybody wants to do well, everybody wants to step onto other person's toes and move forward. So while all that is happening, how do you find a way out, and how do you manage the environment within the group? That is one of the most essential things which the GTO is looking at. He is also not looking at Phatta Balli alone, but he is looking at the way you present yourself, or the behavioral manifestations that you're projecting while that activity is happening, and what is the role that you've chosen for yourself when you go through that. So that is what is very, very important. Especially people who are very mild, they may know how to do it, but in a very active group, they will naturally be left behind, because there'll be other active guys who will find a way and kind of move inside much before they can do, and they will be able to, without looking overbearing, they will be able to look fairly assertive, and those mild guys who have just learned these from the YouTube, etc., may not be able to physically participate in those activities as effectively.
Exactly the point. See, देखो, going through YouTube, you may get ideas. Yes, I qualify that only some are good. A lot of them are put up by anybody, which may not be logical and could be trash. Yet, when you participate in a group, the experiential learning, when you participate, you get to know yourself, where you stand in a group. I don't have to tell you. Fine. The fact that if you are synergetic, you'll find your ideas being accepted. You get a sense of satisfaction, participation in a group. But when you are unable to do that, even if your ideas, I'm sure you yourself don't feel satisfied. So that is the advantage of an experiential learning, which cannot deceive you. We tell you the picture that shows the picture, and yes, we are there to help you. Okay, what to do after that, how to improve those things. And that is the learning, perhaps you won't get anywhere on the...
Because a lot of people also say that, sir, I went through the SSB, I gave very good ideas, and I was not recommended. I just can't figure out what went wrong. So naturally, you can't, when you're doing it yourself, you won't be able to figure out what is going wrong. It is somebody who's standing out, who's looking, who's observing you, may have to tell you that, you are maybe going a little overboard, थोड़ा सा, slow it down a little. यहाँ किसी को बोलोगे भाई आप तो ideas अच्छे देते हो, but you're staying in the background always. You may have an idea, but unless you come and physically demonstrate, you will not be, you will remain outside GTO's focus. So it is somebody from outside who's observing your behavior will be able to help you correct it. And many times you can correct it yourself also. When you're observing other people, you realize कि भाई वो chest number 7 मेरे से बेहतर क्यों है? Why is he more effective in this group? So you will try and ape that person. You try and understand कि भाई ये क्यों effective था? Maybe इसका expression better है. Maybe ये बड़े ठीक time पे बोलता है, and he is able to convince other people with greater logic. कम बोलता है लेकिन काम की बात बोलता है. So it is all about learning from each other and learning from us.
Also, in civil life, leadership means pushing others and dominating others. That is some kind of misnomer which is happening outside. Leadership means
Shouting at other people.
shouting at others and putting down the other person down, rot shouting others over it. So with the normal, it is construed as this is leadership. I have to be dominant in this group and bully the other people around. This is precisely non-productive, and it is going to give a very adverse impact at the SSB. So leadership is not bulldozing others. Leadership is not dictatorial model. It has to be a democratic leadership. This has to be learned by all of us. And this is the reason a training is very, very important for you, because you have to convince others to get a job done. You cannot push the other person down because you are more stronger, or you can shout at the other person more, more stronger. That's not the kind of leadership we are looking at the SSB and as a leader, as a military leader.
One very nice example, which perhaps you can all observe and see and relate, is for you to see a group of small children play, maybe in a park, maybe in the primary wing of the school, 6-7-8 bache. Just observe them when they're playing for about 10 to 15 minutes. That's all. In 10 to 15 minutes, you get a fair idea who's a smart kind of a guy, who's a pushy kind of guy, who's a cooperative kind of guy, who's a person who will pull somebody back. When you observe them, you get to see all these traits, and that is what exactly is being seen by the GTO. When all those activities are small gains.
In fact, I always tell OGNs when they come here that if you've known a person for maybe 2 years, you may not exactly know who this person is. You play 40 minutes of soccer with him, and you play 40 minutes of basketball with him. You will exactly know who this person is. And that is precisely what the GTO is doing. He's putting you through this fun and games where you tend to shed your mask and you start behaving the way you normally do, because he will become very unobtrusive. Yeah. He will not say, "Aap rule kyun tod rahe ho? Why are you fighting with him? Why are you not sharing helping material?" वो कुछ नहीं बोलेगा. He's just observing your behavior, and you feel nobody is really seeing me or checking me, and therefore you start to shed your mask and you start behaving as you normally do. So this is what is GTO task all about.
That is perhaps a reason. You ask anybody who's been to SSB, they say it's a good experience. And why is it a good experience? Because in those 2 days, 3 days, when you do these group activities as a group of 10, kahin se bhi aaye ho, you get bonded as one very quickly. Fine. That's where you realize the formation of a group. That is an important process in which he's observing the formation of the group and who stands where, or the attributes. But that is your nature. You cannot copy it. You cannot project it just like that. See, that has to be inculcated, groomed. Yeah.
And normally also, to add on what sirs were telling, normally man is prone to stress, and generally when you are under stress, you start shedding your mask. You start revealing your teeth. You start revealing your own face, your own behavior which you were trying to conceal earlier. So this is also precisely we are going to see. We will create stressful situations to you. We sometimes release that stress, sometimes we put stress on you, and there are many stresses we apply on you. Sometimes time stress, sometimes problem stress. We will put the problem in such a manner that it is giving you stress. Sometimes the group stress. What is group stress? How the others are behaving with you, and through the interaction there is a certain stress being applied on you because you want to be the best among them. So naturally there is some obstruction for certain opponents you will find in the group. So naturally the stress level is there, and we will keep playing with the stress level on you. We all do that, all the assessors do that, basically to see the real persona of you, or your real veneer, how it comes out.
There's a couple of more questions coming up. One is Praveen saying, how to participate in a group discussion in the PPDT if your story is different from others who make almost similar story. Stories could be different. Right? Obviously, you have your own perception, and you have your own kind of imagination, and you have your own logic of creating a story and the need of creating a story. So it could be different for different people. But what is the purpose of the group discussion? There may be 4 or 5 types of stories. You to discuss to make a common story, and therefore good listening to others' ideas and maneuvering towards a common kind of a theme and helping the group build a common story is important.
So possibly what you want to know is that if your story is different and the rest of the group has made almost similar stories, in which case how to participate in the discussion. So like sir was just telling you that the picture is given to you which is hazy, so it is bound to have different people writing different stories. But if you find that majority of the group has written a particular kind of a story and you've written something else, so long as what you saw in the picture is not a you're not written a preconceived story, that you carried a story with you and whatever picture that they showed, you wrote that story, then of course it is not a good thing to do. However, if in the picture, let's say, small windows were shown and the rest of the group saw those windows to be a train, and you felt that no, this looks like shops, and you found the windows of the shops and you wrote a story about a marketplace, whereas the group has written a story on a railway station. So you're not really grossly wrong. I mean, you perceived it like that. Maybe you're sitting right in the rear and you could not see it the way the person in the front would have seen it. It doesn't really matter so long as you write a story which is meaningful, and so long as it is relating to the stimulus that is shown to you. So therefore, don't worry on that account. And now when you participate in the discussion, if your story was different from others, do not worry. You could try and highlight what you saw in the picture just to justify what you've written, rather than repeating your theme. You could say that, gentlemen, in the picture we did see small windows. It appeared to be shops to me. So could we consider a theme about a marketplace? However, if you find that there are not too many takers for the theme that you're trying to propose and majority is going with the railway station theme, there is no harm in then agreeing with everybody and saying that fine, good enough, we could go ahead with this story, this theme, this is also equally good. So aise karke you could then join up the group and try and ask yourself, if I would have made this story about a railway station, how would have I made it? So give some standalone, some very nice new points which have not been spoken so far, or which the group has not said so far. That is how you will get highlighted in the group.
So by doing that, what you see, the assessors, what are they seeing? They're seeing your willingness to participate with others' views, how willing you are to connect with the main theme, and then apply your mind and imagination to make this story more beautiful and more meaningful. That is how we are going to see you. You don't have to be stubborn and make others forcefully agree to your own theme. This is normally happening with the coached candidates. Most of the time this happens with the coached candidates. This is one of the major reasons they don't get selected.
They want to thrust their story onto other people. That is what they do.
So you should all know, screening generally 35-40% is the selection rate. So you have to be absolutely democratical when you speak there. You should be able to be endearing others.
Create an impact basically.
Yes.
They're looking for a spark only. They're not looking for final selection. तो जिसमें थोड़ा दम है, कोई बोल रहा है, अच्छे से participate कर रहा है, he is being able to effectively put out his ideas and he is helping the group to kind of compile the story. That person will
That
get
is enough.
Yeah,
That is enough.
That is enough.
Yeah, Damanpreet has got another question. So after how many months of the written NDA result is the SSB conducted? Daman, I'm supposing you're appearing in the coming September examination. Perhaps by 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, 20 days, 25 days, the results are generally out. And your interviews start within, say, a week or two after that. So by say, October, November, maybe next December, most of the interviews perhaps for the September exam may generally get over.
November, December.
Yeah, November, December.
But you must start preparing now only, okay? Don't think that it is an examination and we will start preparing once, we get the call-up letter. This is another trap which most of the candidates go through. You feel that it's an examination, I am going to study for this examination.
और भूल जाएगा अगर
भूल जाएगा. Yes. They feel कि हम पहले इसलिए नहीं आए एकदम सब भूल जाएंगे. You have to start now. The basic which we have discussed in the last session also, the basics are very important. What are the basics? Once again, we would like to recollect that is your general awareness and communication skill. Enhance your communication skill, enhance your writing skills, enhance your imagination level, and enhance your physical and mental fitness and social skills. All these things you should start doing now. So it would be a good idea if you can come now only if you are an aspirant for defense. It would be a good idea to have a basic 2 weeks of leadership training program where you can reorganize yourself and you can even slightly change your style of everyday life, which could give a impetus, which is really going to give you push ahead. That would be a good idea.
So are there any more questions? I mean, we are waiting for your questions.
Yesterday one candidate was asking me, sir, I am getting a call letter for Allahabad. Now it is Prayagraj. So we hear it's an elimination
Rejection board.
rejection board. So this is a great myth, moving or going around long time now. We have been hearing it many times.
Even when we were there, it was called like that.
Yes, we were all been there at one time together in Allahabad. So why this is happening, you must know the simple logic behind it. See, there are 5 SSBs at the Allahabad, which is almost half of the Indian army is being selected at Allahabad, because there are generally 10, abhi 12 ho gaya mere ख्याल में SSBs for army. So you will find almost 40-50% of selection for the armed forces is happening in Allahabad. So naturally, when there is a major chunk of army is getting selected there or rejected there, you feel it's an elimination or it's a rejection center. That is absolutely a myth, and you should know the selection rate is everywhere the same. The standard of selection is same.
All boards are standardized actually.
Absolutely, we are all trained and standardized. Every 2 years we check our standards to equalize it and regularize it.
Equalize the observation and the kind of a rating that we give. So therefore, there's very little, if at all, subjective error in the process of selection.
One more question.
No. So we're just talking about the PPD. So we come back to what we're talking about, the Praveen Singh's issue of participation in the discussion. See, it is not the story as such which is important. It is the process of creating a common story. So that would be good if you have listened to everybody, because different people have different ideas. So therefore, you pick up which is a more popular idea, which is the more commonly accepted ideas. So it allows you to gravitate towards that slowly. Give your point logically. There's nothing. See, you have an idea, you have a way of thinking. Do effectively give it out. Do confidently give it out. But it may not merge with the group. So be prepared to shift with the group. But that should not take very much time. See, first 3 to 4 minutes in a discussion in the PPD should be allowed where different ideas come. But 3 to 4 minutes, we should be able to come to a common kind of a theme, right? Which may be yours or may not be yours. Pick up a common thing and give reason why should you accept that, and how would you do that. Start building up a story there.
Shivam has asked that how do you cope up with the pressure which is imposed by the IO during the interview?
See, like Colonel Ashokan has also, Colonel Chahal also told you, the whole process, whether it's the psychological test or the GTO or the interviews, they are designed to see you, and in every process there is an element of stress which is created. For what purpose? To see the functioning of your mind under that limited pressure. Right? The mind is a wonderful thing, it's very creative, very imaginative, but the moment it starts coming under pressure, it starts getting little subdued. When it gets subdued, you don't get ideas, you start confused. Right? So aim is to see your stress vulnerability. It doesn't happen very often. The IO is very pleasant to speak to you. The whole process of conversation is pleasant, and normally the candidates enjoy that talk. At some stages, maybe where he gives you a situation which may be slightly unfamiliar to you, to see how would you go in a handle a thing which you've not done. So therefore there is an ambient pressure, and in that maybe you can add a little bit more pressure once in a while. Besides that, there's no place where he would generally put you under pressure. Some questioning like a difficult period of your time, do you have a girlfriend? Fine. Such questions at times people get a little confused of why your marks have come down. Fine. So they find it a little difficult to respond. So it has to be appropriate. When it's commensurate with the age and maturity. So learn to be good at conversations. The IO's interview is more of a conversation, and good conversational skills will help you. Good presence of mind will help you. Don't get stuck. Even if you are not very clear, so say, sir, as far as I think, or I'm forgetting something, I'm not very clear, I'll check up, so that you move forward. Don't start looking blank in the interview.
After all, friends, you are going to be a military leader in the making. So naturally, you are going to be here to safeguard the nation against the enemies, to safeguard this motherland. So naturally, you will confront certain crises in life sometimes, certain stressful situation you need to handle well. So definitely we would like to see in a stress, how do you, not very big stress we put in there, slight stress levels, how do you react to it? Are you stabilizing yourself? Are you getting stress prone and start panicking? All these are going to be seen by us. So definitely there will be a little bit of stress we would be putting through you, but it is nothing to be very serious about. Okay, so if you are practical, your mind is logical, and you are rational, definitely you will be able to give a practical answer, which has to be matured for your age. That's very important.
So listen carefully, and if you're not very clear, ask. If you're not very clear, just ask. I couldn't follow you or something. I'm sure he'll help you out. How to enhance power of expression, especially verbal, short. See the short and does he want a short and
How to give concise answers? So some people beat around the bush, maybe.
Okay.
Some people are verbose.
Yeah. See, power of expression starts from the thoughts that you have. The clarity of thoughts is important. Awareness is important, and your ability to use the language to express them. The normal language used during the process of selection is English, but English and Hindi is also permissible. So don't get too stuck. So long as you can express yourself clearly in English and Hindi, you can do that. That's one. Second is to practice to speak. Pick up a newspaper, or create a little small blog or something. Read it loudly, record it and listen to it. The more you practice to speak, the more deliberate you are, you would improve.
See, most of the time what is happening right now is, you see, our writing skill has suffered. You know why? Because we don't write anymore any prose. We don't, write letters to people these days. That is also gone with the invent of all these new gadgets. So we hardly write anything now. Over and above this, spell checks also made us not learning even words, and vocabulary has gone poor. And our imagination's power has suffered because we don't read much. And I would have been, it's very strange thing happening now, because most of the youngsters today, after reading one paragraph, they lose their interest to read further. They are getting distracted. And more are we into visuals. We are happy to see visuals for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, no problems. OTT platform, you can sit whole night together, but you have to read a book. After one page, you feel sleepy. These are all the repercussions of this new world. Welcome to this new world. So when you come to SSB, any case, we are going to see your imagination level, we are going to see your power of expression, we are going to see your writing expression. You need to improve them, because we have a problem here now. We need to work on this. Sir ne bola aapko, how do we do this? I would also suggest, start writing diary every day, English diary, and write down what have you done today, what you intend to do tomorrow, what have you learned in the last few hours or yesterday. Write down them, which is called power, creative writing. You think something, you are translating your thoughts into words and writing down on a page. This will improve your handwriting. This will improve your thought process. It will give clarity to your mind, and it will give you sequence for your logics which has to come out. So this is a very important thing, and please start improving your vocabulary by just seeing visuals on a monitor, or just seeing a movie, or just reading the subtitles coming in the monitor. You will not learn language. You have to be learning vocabulary. You need to improve your words power. Write down these words with the meaning. Correct your grammar. This has to be a process. Unless you do that, I'm sorry to say, if you're not able to write one paragraph without mistakes, too many grammatical mistakes, too many spelling mistakes, because you don't have a spell check at there, you have to write from your own mind only the spelling. Definitely you are going to create a very poor impression among the assessors. You have to start doing this. This is the reason we keep telling you, you have to come for a training program to understand these issues where you are probably not aware of it. And you just land upon one day in SSB, most probably you will be screened out.
So taking the point forward from Colonel Ashokan, see, the media gives you a lot of content which is audio visual. Audio bhi hai, visual bhi hai, nice colors, exciting. Fine. They take your
Imagination.
mind, but you are unable to recreate. Your imagination goes away. Fine. Therefore, very important. Do two things. One is reading. Second is writing. When you read a book, read a newspaper, your mind starts imagining that. When you're writing, you got to have your thoughts in a sequence to write. But that is very important to nurture the thinking and creative faculties of the mind. Otherwise, the mind will get numb. You're only looking at a lot of data which is coming to you, it's colored, which is pleasing, but you are unable to express yourself. That gets suppressed. So the only way is to write and read, as you go along, whatever you can.
Now, sir, this Chat GTP is coming.
Yeah.
Chat GPT. This is going to invade your mind also. Mind space is going to invade. Your imagination power is as it is going diminishing, and this Chat GTP and the AI in the new avatar of AI, it is going to fill up your space of your brain power. It is going to make us duds, and it's very dangerous, actually speaking.
Praveen has got a question, means my next SSB is in Bhopal for Navy Tech entry. So how it is different from the TES entry, and how to make 20 days? See, the SSB, Praveen, is the same. You've been through the TES, now you're going for the Navy Tech. SSB is the same. Now that you are going for the Navy Tech, obviously the awareness levels appropriate to your qualification. Some questions about that could be asked. Process is the same. There's nothing very different. I assume you're going for the TS Navy, I suppose. So there's no difference.
It is the same. SSB is going to be the same, because whatever we have spoken right now, we are going to see through your personality, we are going to see your holistic personality, but with the age in our mind. Say you are 18-year-old right now, or you are a 20-year-old boy or a 21-year-old girl. We would like to see your mental level. So naturally, the selection or assessment of an 18-year-old boy and assessment of a 24-year-old boy, definitely it is going to be slightly different in our mind, but the process is going to be same, but holistically we are going to see your personality.
Now that you're going for the Navy, so knowledge about the Navy would be useful. How is the Navy organized? What are the major kinds of ships, aircraft carrier, submarines that we have? What is that we're making ourselves? The Navy is a very interesting arm, which is which has got a very important role to play, as India is growing to be a regional power. So therefore we have a role beyond our coastline, in the Indian Ocean,
Blue Sea.
and therefore in the Blue Seas. For the knowledge about Navy, even one perhaps you can go through the blog of Olive Greens, which is titled "Role, Capabilities and Modernization Plan of the Armed Forces." If you read it, you search it on the net, you can get it. It gives you a fair idea.
You
about
can Google it, you will get this
Navy. Yeah, you can get this
blog,
idea
go
about
through
the
this Olive Greens blog.
Army, Navy, Air Force. So know something about Navy when you're going for it.
You see, you have to understand how you have to prepare. This is very important. It is not an examination, we keep repeating it. In this month, you will be happy to know we got 18 selection only in this month. In the last 1 month, we got more than 34 selections, recommendations of OGNs who had gone from us. So we are trying to enhance our performance level, mostly because we train their mind. I would like to say all these entries which are going, basics are the same. You have to work on your awareness. Very important, GK and current affairs. And you all know GK is what has already happened, which is static or stagnant nature, and current affairs is fluent information, like what is happening today, what is going to happen tomorrow.
What is likely could happen?
Yes. So it's fluctuating. So you need to know in a sequence what has already happened, what is today happening, and what is supposed to be happening tomorrow. Assumptions, and this can only happen when your knowledge is good. So this is very important. So you have to start reading, understanding. Newspaper reading has become almost redundant. Nobody reads newspaper these days. कोई बात नहीं है. At least you have a mobile with you. You go through the apps. There are very good news channel apps. Go through them. There are many news channel apps which are very good. Like First Post, I was going through yesterday. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Similarly, print.
Yeah,
Good channels.
Information, very informative, very analytical. Shivam has he's been to the Olive Greens earlier in 2021 for NDA entry, Now he's going for the CDS. Good, Shivam. When you came for the NDA, I don't know whether you came for the SSB preparation or the written examination. All the same, now that you go for the CDS, wish you all the best. Have you cleared the SSB? I'm not very sure. Or your exam is coming in September. What are you? Just give me little inputs. I followed the process, just not able to figure out how to overcome the fear. Fear of failure. Shivam, why should you fear failure? Failures are there in life. In fact, they say failures are a stepping stone to success. So embrace it, don't fear it. Do your best, hope for the best. Maybe if you don't make it, don't call it a failure. There is something to learn from it, and add that to yourself, add that value to yourself.
Next step to success.
Give your best. Don't fear. So fear is a creation of the mind. There's no fear anywhere in the world. कहीं हवा में कहीं नहीं होता, ये माइंड में ही होता है. And you have to learn to shed it, learn to face things. Setbacks can be there, setbacks have to be overcome, lessons have to be learned, and you learn to move forward in life. There's no failure in life. Shivam?
Friend, you know, life is full of challenges, and as sir was saying, there are many kind of fears. See, these are our real enemies within the gate. Enemy अंदर ही बैठा हुए हम लोगों की. Many fears are there. For example, I may call it fear of failure, as you have been telling, fear of uncertainty of future. Another fear is fear of performance anxiety. That's called performance anxiety. All these fears are going to play on you, especially when you go for SSB. It generally happens with most of the candidates. That is why a good training, a good preparation, good planning, and stabilizing your mind about the whole process, and a good base, which we have been discussing. These are the elements which are going to eliminate your fear psychosis, the element of fear from your mind. You have to work on this. And everybody does it. We all have gone through this fear, feel of fear to face the challenge. It happens throughout their life. But then you remember you are going to be a military leader, military commander in the making, and the life is full of challenges going to be. It's not a normal civilian life, but a life of thrill, adventure and challenges. That is the reason you have to start working against this fear psychosis from today onwards. अभी से करना है. And don't worry, even if you're not making it, doesn't really matter. If you look at our own statistics of Olive Greens, out of our success rate, we got a huge success rate. In the last 20 years, we got more than 8,500 officers cleared from Olive Greens. And if you look at the statistics, out of them, almost 60% are repeaters. Maybe 40% are the freshers, which means SSB, the assessors are not probably bothered about are you a fresher or are you a repeater. You are welcome to come again, provided your personality is better and desirable.
And Shivam, fear happens when you tie yourself to the result. That's not the right way. Yes, prepare yourself well, give your best in the SSB and enjoy what you do. The moment you tie yourself with the result, you'll never perform well. Just give your best, enjoy what you do, the result will be good. And the moment you tie yourself ke hoga ke nahi hoga, it'll never happen like that.
Go with a prayer. You know what is that prayer? I am going to do my best at the SSB. I have prepared well and I am going to be myself and I will project myself in the manner which I feel good. Don't start thinking what is going to happen after the 5th day. The moment you start thinking like this, your performance will go down because stress is a depressor. It is going to depress you.
It's going to deplete you.
Deplete, yes.
Yeah.
It is going to push you down. If your performance is going to be marred, you have to release this pressure before you go. It is very important.
Sure.
Just do it for the happiness of doing it. Celebrate the moment.
Yeah.
Enjoy the moment. Look at all the new experience that you are going to gain there, new friends, new environment, new experience in life, and enjoy it. And definitely you will find that you are a successful candidate.
So with that, our time is running out for today. It's been very nice interacting with you, taking your questions. I hope we've been able to clear your minds, and next week again we'll be here at 12:30 for any more issues that you have. any clarification that you have?
One more.
Thank you. So Shivam, all the best. Thank you very much.
All the best, guys, and we'll meet next week again, same time. Till such time, have a great time. Good day.